The sham 2, and last I left off, I've basically just been continuing adding some detail, added some more rivets on the back here, top and bottom. And then I basically went in and sanded down all the rivets. It's just easier if you just, you don't have to be precise. Just cut them all, pretty close to the, same length. Glue them on, and you can sand them down, and you are good to go. Added the, I don't know if I said it last time, added some brackets here. That's why they welded it on. Have no idea, I guess, to add more armor to it. But next thing I got to do is, if you see the back of the cameras here, I got to fill them in. I just got a few little things like that. But I did add the machine gun that goes on top here, and they used that one, the 7.62 millimeter tank machine gun, and so I just knocked off the stock there. Newer models have an ammo box on the side. I just took some styrene tube and squared that off and sanded down and got the ammo box on. It's also got a camera on top, and I did the same thing like I did here. I just took some tubing, got that on, and I cut another wider tubing and made a guard over it because that was in the picture. Scratch built the bracket there to hold the gun, and we are getting really close to at least get some primer on it and make sure I got everything sanded. I did not like the I was going to use the mutt tires, and what I did is I took some car tires. These are basically 24 scale ones. I took 2 of them and I just whacked them in half, and I think it turned out pretty darn slick. Got the rubber tires like an automobile, and it you can't see the hubs anyway, and we sit good. I think that turned out pretty darn slick on that. So anyway, and I had some tires to burn, which add a little extra to the sham 2. My next thing I got to figure out, and I got to find it. I don't know where it's at. I got some googly eyes, and I need to make the headlights for the sham 2 here. And I just got a few little things to clean up. Fill in the cameras in the back, add a little wires, and just few little things, and pretty much be ready to paint and continue on with the sham 2. The little jihadi. I'm down to, I got all the colors on him. He's blocked in. If you can see, there's no washes yet, and no dry brushing. I wanted to get him all painted, and then I'll go back in and do some other things. I'm not a figure painter, and I do things a tad bit differently. I like to get all the colors on, and then I go in and I get my palette out here. I like to use a lot of washes, a lot of filter washes, and build it up. And then I go in and do some dry brushing, and I may do some highlights on some of the clothing, but usually I find my style is the washes and pigment powders and everything else. It just a different technique of doing things. But right now, what I've done, if you can actually see it, I added some sling rings, I guess the correct term if you want to call it. I took some wire and just made 2 little hoops in there, connect to the gun. It's pretty believable. Then I took some Tamiya tape, cut out a real thin piece, and super glued it. And I got to do the little fold right here because you always got the little fold of the sling. I'll glue that on and just coat it with just a little bit of super glue with a toothpick. And then once that dries, you can paint it, and good to go. Anyway, I think it looks pretty darn slick that way. So I'm down to finishing up the sling this morning, and then I'm going to do some washes this afternoon. Hopefully I can finish off Mr. Jihadi this weekend is what I'm planning, but we'll just see what happens. And then I was deciding, what do we want to do next? And I'm leaning toward a dyno rider, but I don't want to do I want to do something different. And I ran across this on Pinterest, and I was Googling dyno riders, and that's Indian, might be politically correct here, the Native American riding a dinosaur. I think that's pretty darn slick. And you could probably get like the old Limburg kit and get you a 24 scale Indian dude there, and that's pretty nice. Plus, it's got, you know, the handprints like they do on the war horses. I don't know, something like that. I've been pondering something like that this week, so we'll consider that. Or, you know, I always have a soft spot. We can always do a, you know, always do a female on a horse, you know, excuse me, on a dyno. But anyway, we'll think about it. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. We are brainstorming some dyno rider ideas here. Little Jihadi getting his sling on his weapon, and the Sham 2 is taking shape. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.